Hello, good morning. Today it is August 22nd, 10:02 a.m. Central Standard Time here in the Midwest USA. And we are currently live on YouTube, currently live in the Fenley Beadwork Instructor Facebook page. And hopefully we are going live in the Learn How to Make French Beaded Flowers Facebook group. It says it's going, so I don't know if it is going or not. So we'll see. We'll see. All right, let me go take a look over there. If you are currently live in the Learn How to Make French Beaded Flowers Facebook group, please, if you're seeing me right now in the Facebook group, please say hello, hit like, make a comment, so I can see you. But it's probably not. Okay, probably not. So I'm going to have to go ahead and probably share it. So I haven't done that in the last couple of weeks, but I'm going to have to do that today. Okay. Alrighty. Okay, and that is shared. So, yeah. All right. Hello, good morning again. Let me know where you're watching from, what the weather's like. You are joining me, Fen, for another Bead and Chat help session where I come to you live every Friday, hopefully at 10 a.m. Central Standard Time every single week. But sometimes, depending on my schedule, mainly during the summer, I've had to kind of move it around, but I try to be on at the same time every single week with these bead and chats and help sessions where I bead whatever project I'm working on and you work on whatever project you're working on. And if you have questions, you can ask me because these are my office hours. So if you have questions on any of your French beading, not any other type of beadwork, just French beading, that's my niche, right? If you have questions on French beading, then put it in the chat and I will try to help you. Okay, so I've got my drink today. And, ooh, I just knocked over my drink. My kids put my hot glue gun right on here. Okay, put it over here. And get comfortable, get started. If you are on, let me know. Say hi, let me know where you're watching from. Okay. So I'm going to try one other thing. Or not. Or not. I'm not going to do that. Okay. I'm not going to do that. Okay. All right. So let's get started today. So working on the same that I am last week, I am putting together a class for October. So I am working on a project. So I've got all my beads in here. And right now I am testing my kits. So I put all the beads in little containers, and I just want to make sure that I have that when I sell my kits that the correct amounts, right? So I usually test it a few times. So that's why I have a lot of samples when I'm done with a class, because I like to test my kits, make sure that they are correct. All right, so what am I doing today? Okay, let's do this. I need this color and these. And I have some wires in here. Where'd it go? Tell me still on my table. Is it still over there? Oh, found it. Okay. And you know what I don't have? I don't have wire cutters. I'm going to have to cut my wires with my teeth. Just kidding. No, I'm not doing that. Okay, I'm going to have to get up. Okay, my wire cutters, I think I left out of my project box. Do I have one in here? I have another project box here. I don't. I'm going to take these headphones out. Use later. Okay. Unprepared today, per usual. All right, I'm going to get up and get my wire cutters. Per usual. Okay, looks like we've got Annette joining us. Hello, Annette from Nova Scotia. The Nova Genealogical Association of Nova Scotia. What does that mean? Tell me what that means, Annette. Oh, are you at work? Are you watching me from work? Okay. Looks like we've got Natia joining us. Hello, Natia. Okay. And as I was working on this project, I'm thinking this would be a much better project in smaller beads. But because I know a lot of you aren't able to get size 15s, I designed these in size 11, so they're a bit big. So, but I guess that's okay. But maybe I will do a different version in size 11, in size 15s as well. Like, I guess when I do these patterns where I have the urge to do size 15s, I just need to do 2 patterns. It's not incredibly hard to convert for this pattern anyways. It's just a matter of different lengths of wire, because it is a project where you have to cut your wire. So I may do that. Maybe not for the class, or maybe I will. I don't know. I'm still debating. What else am I missing? What else is Fred missing? He's missing a ruler. I hope I have a ruler. Oh, I do. I do. Okay, in this project box. Sorry, frazzled and a mess. End of August. Trying to get my kids back at school. There's one more week and I haven't done anything. Have not bought anything. I still need to figure out my oldest's things. Like, when do you go to school for picture day? I think it's next week. But like, nothing has been done. So, okay. And that says working on the bellflowers and the bead along. My lacing sucks. Any tips? Lacing. I'm going to have to see. Okay, let me get started. I have to see how. I haven't taken a look at Lauren's pattern, so I'm not sure specifically how the lacing is done, if it's lace as you go or are you lacing afterwards. So tell me, Annette, are you lacing as you go, making the unit and then lacing as you're beading? Or are you making the unit first and then, okay, hang on. Are you lacing the unit first? Okay. Sorry, talking and trying to bead at the same time. I'm even looking at the wrong pattern. That's the problem. That's the problem. Okay, so I think it would be best if I take a look real quick at that pattern, right? Okay. What I've learned, I can't do multiple things at once. Okay. So what are you lacing right now? Are you lacing the flowers? Okay. What are you lacing? Okay. It looks like you're lacing the petals, correct? Okay. Making the flower in two pieces and lacing the two components together. Have trouble keeping it straight. Okay, let me take a look. I have not looked at this yet. I normally just keep to myself. Don't look at other people's stuff. How do I enlarge this without moving my body? So it looks like you are lacing after. Is that correct? Okay, cut. Okay, looks like you're lacing after. And then lacing another unit onto each other. Oh, okay, I see. Okay, so Annette says we're making the flower into two pieces and lacing the two components together. I just have trouble keeping it straight. Okay. Lots to hang on to and shape as you go. They're beautiful flowers, just not as quite as neat as Lauren for sure. Yes, relace after. Okay. Lacing is one of those things that it just comes better with practice. And it sounds like since you haven't had a lot of experience with lacing, that you're having trouble with it. And you know what? If it is not, I normally recommend lace as you go. But it sounds like with this project, it's not something that you're able to do because as beginner beaders, it's a lot easier to lace as you go. Let's see. I would just, try to keep keep it as straight as possible. I mean, and it does. I mean, sometimes when I lace, it's not always straight either. So maybe try not to have, I guess, impossible goals, because especially with these beads, sometimes, right? These beads, um, when you have them on the wire, the you can't have it completely straight, because the bead, when you have one row here, we have the bead right here, and on the next row you have the bead right here, right? Just that's just the placement of the beads. And sometimes it will go that way. You just can't avoid the wire naturally needing to go up or down because of the placement of the beads. So the beads can, I mean, it's sometimes the beads will line up right next to each other on this row or on this row, but it doesn't always happen that. Sometimes that bead placement will just be here, and you just need, your wire just needs to go this way, right? And then sometimes it's just unavoidable. If you look at a lot of my lacing too, and sometimes it happens in my tutorials, you will see that my lacing is not completely straight. But I do try to keep it as straight as possible, but it is not always possible, depending on the placement of beads. And if you look at, I mean, I'm looking at Lauren's lacing too, and it's doing exactly just that in photo 69, where the lacing wire just goes up, because that's unavoidable, right? It's just unavoidable. Where the bottom lacing wire, it is not a straight, completely straight. That's just sometimes not possible. But if you're saying that it needs to be, but if the beads are lined up, then I would say just undo the lacing wire and then redo it where you want it to be. So yeah, sometimes it's just unavoidable. Okay, yes, practice for sure, absolutely. Okay, and that says, I plan on making 3 stems of 8 flowers, so I should be an expert at the time I am finished. Yes, and you know what? Even for us, sometimes we might have a bad day, and the lacing wire is just all whacked up, and by the time we look at it, and it's like going this way, and in my mind, sometimes I try to fix it, because like, it just depends on, how I'm feeling that day. Sometimes I'm just like, I'm just going to leave it, because it doesn't matter at all if the wire is completely straight or not. Sometimes it just doesn't matter, because the purpose of the lacing wire is to hold the rows together. Is it serving its purpose as it's holding the rows together? If that is, then I let it go. But sometimes I'm in that mood where I'm like, I want my rows to be straight, as straight as possible anyways. And then I will undo it and then redo it. And if it's for tutorial, chances are I will undo it and redo it. But a lot of the times, I don't. A lot of the times I don't. Sometimes you're just having a bad day. And it's not as straight as possible, and that happens. And I and if it serves the purpose of holding the rows together, right, Annette, then I let it go. I let it go. And I realize I don't have the pattern that I want to work on in front of me, so I'm going to change beads. So this is right. So it just looks like I'm putting these things on and off the spinner over and over again, but that's where we are. So I need this color, I need the green. I just need to focus a minute. And I need this color. These beads back. What I did was I spilled my beads. Oh my gosh. Okay, that happens. Spilled my beads. And this is I'm supposed to be testing my kit. So I guess that happens sometimes. You spill your beads, and I just want to make sure that I didn't spill my beads on purpose, right? But sometimes you will spill your beads. And I want to make sure that even if you spill your beads, you will still have enough to finish your flower. Not that I spilled it on purpose. I did not. I never spill my beads on purpose. That's for sure. Okay. Okay. And this here. All right, now we can get started. 20 minutes later, okay? Okay. Why isn't it staying? Why is it? I'm just, am I sitting there? Get into the flow first. This is one of these where you have to count. But I did pretty okay last week counting and talking. So. So. Atia says, I've always wanted to ask how you manage to form continuous loops with 5 to 6 beads that are only 1.6 millimeter in size. What do you do if you have thick fingers? That's why it's really hard. I mean, it's not easy to make loops with 5 or 6 beads, and I do realize that. So when I design flowers, I try to do it with more than, like, at least 10 beads, like at least 10 beads of 4 size 11 seed beads. I try to at least do 10 beads. Now there are a few patterns where I have done like 5 beads or 6 beads, maybe 7 beads. I try to increase the bead count so that it's not so hard. It's not just for people with thick fingers. It's hard for everyone because it's not a lot of beads to make your little loop. But what will make it easier is using thinner wire. So instead of using, say, 24 gauge wire to make a smaller loop, I would say use 26 gauge wire. There are times where I have made patterns with the smaller loops, and maybe I do regret it, because while I'm able to do it myself, I realize that not everyone has that ability. So if you find that it's hard to do that using 24 gauge wire, change wire thickness, because it will be a lot easier with 26 gauge. And depending on the unit, right? Depending on the unit that you're making, can it be changed to 28 gauge wire? Maybe the unit will allow you to be able to use thinner wire. You may not always be able to do that, but sometimes you can. But as for me as a designer, I try not to do these really small loops. And I do realize that I did teach a class recently, that a Zoom class that had smaller loops using 24 gauge wire. I do realize that, and the alternative, but I did provide an alternative pattern for those who have trouble making the 5 bead loops. I did provide an alternative pattern, so that even though someone might have trouble doing this specific technique, they can still make the pattern with some alterations. So 24 gauge, okay, in a nutshell, 24 gauge, really hard, but I was okay. I did I did write that pattern using the loops, because it was unavoidable to it was unavoidable, I guess, in my mind, that I had to do the 5 bead loops, or else it would look weird. I wanted the 5 bead loops, but at the same time, I realized that not everyone can do the 5 bead loops. So an alternative. So if you find that you have a pattern with something like that, ask yourself, can I substitute this unit using thinner wire? If it's possible, do it. And then also ask yourself, can I alter this pattern without using the loops? Those are my 2 suggestions. Thinner wire, if possible, and altering the pattern, if possible. Yeah. Yeah. Sorry, I have written those patterns. But I do provide an alternative. Okay, it says connection lost. Okay. Can you, okay, it says that the connection is lost. Please let me know if you can see me or hear me. Okay, I hope I'm back, because it says that the connection was lost. So let me know if you see me, hear me, because it says that. I think I'm back, though. I think I'm back. I don't know if if you heard everything I said, Natia, about the loops. So let me know if I need to if I need to, I guess, talk about that whole 5-beat loops again. So I think I just caught it at the end. So I'm not going to repeat myself. So if you need clarification, please let me know about those 5-beat loops. Because I don't know what was said before the connection was lost. Okay. So we got Jessica joining us. Hello, Jessica. Thanks for letting me know that you can hear me now. Okay. All right. Looks like we've got Louise joining us. Hello, Louise. Working on the Canterbury bells. I only watched the first video, so I am not up to speed what you guys are working on right now. But luckily, this next pattern, this next bead along that I'm prepping for, no lacing. And what else? Yeah, I know you guys don't like lacing. But you know what? That can't be avoided sometimes. And no 5-beat loops. Oh, there are 5-beat loops, but it's not twisting. So there are 5-beat loops, but don't worry. It's a different type of loops. So early in the week, I've got something in my inbox about, oh, hang on. I guess I'm saying that a lot lately. Hang on, you guys. Let me do this one thing first before I talk. Okay, and that says no lacing. Yay. Yes. No lacing, just a lot of counting. Okay, so this one, okay, I got 2 done. Earlier in the week, I got something in my inbox with a question. So that might be interesting to share. Let's see, this person says, I was wondering if, okay, creating crowns for my daughter and future son-in-law for their wedding ceremony. And so she's struggling with flowers for crowns, like a hair crown. Can't figure out what materials I would use to make the crowns and attach the beaded flowers I've made. So she wants to know what to do. How would you make a hair crown? And you know what? I'm not sure if I'm the best person to ask for this, because I've only made one hair crown ever, right? And I don't remember what I did with this hair crown. But I do have pictures of a hair crown that I made. And I did actually sell this on Etsy a long time ago. So I went back to my Etsy and I found the pictures. I could not find the pictures on my hard drive because I don't know what happened. It's like probably a few computers ago and they're just all over the place. But I did go on my Etsy shop, went into the sold history and found this head crown that I made and sold. So, and this is, you may recognize the flowers. It's using my cherry blossoms. There's a whole story that goes with these cherry blossoms. They were meant to be, should I go on a tangent? No, I won't go in the whole tangent. I will not go on that tangent. So I will not go into that story. Um, so with these cherry blossoms, you may recognize it as the cherry blossom pattern that is currently on my website, and I have a YouTube video, a couple of YouTube videos with a tutorial on these flowers, right? And what I did with these cherry blossoms was I just made them and wrapped them using brown floral tape. And I'm using, the crown was made using something like this. What are these called? Like twine wrapped wire. So I don't remember what I did, but I think this is probably something similar. I used something similar like this. Do I still have it? Do I still have that? I'm just trying to look on my wall of things if I have that type of wire on here. I don't. Maybe I use it up. But using twine like wire, what you see on the screen there, um, turned it into like a crown that you would put on your head. And this is what it looks like on my mannequin, right? So what I did was I wrapped it wrap the stems of, not the stems, just the stem wire of the flowers with floral tape. And like I said, I don't remember exactly what I did, but it looks like I just wrapped it around the crown. And if you're wrapping around, if you look towards the base of the crown, you will see that it's kind of like braided. So I just wrapped it around, twisted around the base of the crown, and that was it. It just stayed. So if you're wondering, if you're looking for ideas on how to make a hair crown, that's what you can do. Yep, counting again. I didn't count right for this second one, so I'm going to take it off. We do this one. Now, as far as, okay, so that's the only type of crown that I've ever made. I don't know what you would do with any other type of crowns. Well, I guess I've also done things like headbands. You can, if you have other types of crowns, you can, I guess, attach it. The way that I have attached flowers to headbands, well, these days, what I would do is to just bead the flowers so that you have only two ending tail wires, but that would require you to be an intermediate beater at least to do that. So it's not, I guess you would need to have some experience before you try to attempt making your whole flower onto one wire. That's what I would do now. Before, what I have done is you would have all these thick wires. For example, like a rose, right? You're doing all these petals individually and then attaching all the flowers together. And then now you have this bulky bottom wires that you have to deal with, and then attach that to a crown or a headband. That's not that easy, right? So if you're looking to do something like that as a beginner, I would say get some experience first, um, or do something with a continuous like technique. Maybe you just make the rows using continuous wraparound loops, so that there's not a lot of wires that you have to deal with at the end. I need to make 7 of these. A lot of the like accessories that I've made so far, I mostly try to do it using a continuous technique. And I wouldn't suggest that you, as if you're a beginner, I wouldn't suggest that you jump right in into French beading and then making accessories, because you need some experience before doing that. So don't jump in right away and say, I want to make accessories. um, I mean, I guess you can, using the beginner level continuous techniques. That is okay, I think, guess. But I guess learn the techniques first, learn some of the in and outs before jumping right in. Well, you know the saying, you need to learn to walk where you can run, right? So you need to learn the foundations before you can say, oh, I'm going to go ahead and do all these advanced projects. And now I'm not saying that you can't do that. And I've been impressed by some beginners that have started out making an advanced project. Some people do that, and that is impressive. But just talking about just generally when you're learning a technique, just learn the foundations first before jumping into some of the nitty-gritty projects that are fun. Not that the beginner level projects aren't fun, but you know what I'm saying. Check into the group, see what's going on in here. Okay. I don't know why I can't. Okay. We're not going to do that today. We're not going to complain. We're not going to complain. Okay. Daisy wants to know, what about keychains? Keychains, well, it would depend on the type of flower. Again, if you are using beginner level continuous techniques, I think it's possible. Wrong bead. I think it's possible. But the thing with keychains, it's like, oh, you dangle it everywhere, you hold it and stuff. So it needs to be a very specific flower where it doesn't get mangled, because with wire, it's easily mangled. Right? So maybe a more enclosed flower, like a rose or something like that. But still, even a rose. Okay, now we're talking about, we're not talking about, right now I'm not talking about logistics of making a keychain. I think you can easily make a keychain using some beginner level techniques. I think. Oh, I'm just looking at something on my wall. Well, instead of just grabbing it, let me go grab it. I think something that as a keychain would be something that I made. I'm going to put this here. I'm going to put this here. Okay. Something like, okay, so this is a headband right here. And something like this. This is a dangle that I made that I attached to a headband. And this can easily be a keychain based on the type of flowers that I use. The flower, it's enclosed so that even if you kind of try to crush it, you wouldn't crush it too much, right? Because it is very tightly enclosed. So using it as a keychain, just dangling it around, it's not going to harm this at all, right? And this is just a leaf, so then easily I can just go ahead and just attach this to my keychain, which I should probably do. I should probably just attach this to my keychain. I'm not a big headband person. I don't usually wear my headbands, right? So this was a headband that I've just attached these dangles on so that it looks like earrings, right? So like so. Okay, Daisy wants to know, where can I get the pattern? I don't specifically have a pattern on how to make this specific thing, but I do have a couple of YouTube videos on these parts. For this rosebud, I have a YouTube video. If you look up Bead Floor Studio Rosebud, you can find the pattern for the rosebud. And if you look up 4 Seasons, oops, I dropped it. If you look up 4 Seasons earrings, you can find my YouTube video on how to make this. And then you just attach them together. So, well, you know what? While I'm here, I'll just grab it. Get on my YouTube channel. Videos. Okay. Okay, this one. So this one would be like the rosebud earrings, except you just don't turn it into earrings. You just turn it into a keychain, right? And what was that? Earrings. So This next one would be the leaf earrings. And that's basically what this dangle is. It's just a combination of those techniques. Okay. Let me know if, Daisy, let me know if you're able to see the link, because it's telling me that I'm having issues. It's telling me I'm having issues. Okay, I'll try it again. So yeah, that's what that is. Just a combination of the rosebud earring pattern and also the leaf earrings pattern, and then just turned into a dangle. I think I will. Oh, it's right here. I think I will just put this on my keychain. That is a very good idea. I should just go ahead and do that, because it's not really doing anything on my wall. Right. Okay, so get my washing box. Okay. Okay. I need to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I need to do one more. And then I have this last unit done. And then I'm going to call it a day, because it's almost an hour. So 5. Okay, so I'm trying to think next week if I am able to come on. I can probably do it in the morning. So again, next Friday, 10 a.m. Central Standard Time for my office hours. Come, do your beading. Let's chat, and if you have questions, put them in the chat, and we will discuss. All right, got another unit done here. So I've got 3 done today. Okay, Natia says, I think there's no detailed PDF instruction for these earrings on your website. Natia, there is not. There is not, and I've been debating on what to do, if I should include that in a book, or if I should have that as a PDF. Initially, I was going to have that pattern released in a book, like, I guess, written wise in a book. So I'm still debating on some of the patterns that I have on my YouTube channel that don't have a written pattern. I've been debating that I could just compile that and do it into a book, or not, or as a PDF. So when I released the pattern on my YouTube channel, it was supposed to just be a quick, fun little project. I had no intention of doing a PDF, but I think you guys prefer PDFs, or prefer a written pattern along with the video tutorial. I mean, just doing a video tutorial just is like quick and fun and easy and fast for me. But doing the whole shebang with the PDF and taking pictures and all that wasn't the plan. That was too much. So I still need to decide on what to do with that. So maybe, I mean, the pattern is written. I do have the pictures, and it is written now. So let me know, what should I do? Should I release it and sell it as a PDF on the website? Or should I include it in a book? A lot of you prefer PDFs or yeah, prefer a written pattern. So if you want, it's there. It's ready to go. It's not like I have to take pictures and do all the writing and stuff like that. So I can release a PDF, but it's not specifically, or is there for the earring? But yeah, I think there is one for the earrings, and there is one for the headband. All right, let me know what you want. Do you want earrings and headband? Um, hair, earrings and headband. Or, okay, Natia says, how about publishing the pattern as a bead along? This video is already available. You just need to write the PDF. Bead along. It is. I usually don't do bead alongs where it's just like one. It's like one. It's like one session, right? It's like one class and not multiple. Like with bead alongs, we do multiple sessions. We fill up the whole month. And I think if we just do the earrings, it would just be like, it's just one thing, right? So it's not, and I found that people aren't as interested in the jewelry than finished flowers. So I don't know if, I mean, I really love designing jewelry because it just keeps my mind spinning on how to use these techniques differently. And it doesn't look like, I mean, when you look at it, it doesn't look like much because it just looks like a beginner level flower pattern that you normally see. But when you turn it into jewelry, it's not the same. We're not making it the same way. It's a completely different technique of doing it. But so it's more like perception versus reality, and what the people perceive. It's a simple flower, you know, it doesn't take much, but when in reality is like it's more an intermediate project and not a beginner level project, right? So it keeps, well, I guess what I was getting, that was a whole tangent, but what I was getting at is that it keeps my mind spinning. I really love designing jewelry because it keeps my mind spinning on the different ways that we can use the techniques and turn it into something completely different, right? So maybe I need better marketing. I don't know. I don't know. But overall, most people are just not as interested in the jewelry. And I know you made the daisy jewelry, right? But I don't think most people did. Um, some people bought the kits, but not a lot. And for the people that purchased the kit, they did not. I have not seen anyone post pictures of the the daisy jewelry that they've made. Um, and that's probably where you're thinking where I did the loops, right? Because I made smaller loops. That's probably what you're thinking, that they're smaller loops. And those patterns were using size. Well, they were using thinner wire, using 26 gauge wire, not 24 gauge wire. So I guess that's where I'm thinking that's probably okay. I'm aware that it's not the best, but it's probably okay. So I'm okay with releasing the pattern as a PDF right now. it's more, but as far as a beat along, I'm kind of hesitant. I know the videos are there, but the videos, um, I'm not as happy with my past videos as I am. Like the quality of my videos has increased, and you know how it goes when you look back at the things that you've done in the past. You kind of cringe because, like, oh my god, that video is so bad, right? You're just like, oh my god, that's really bad. That's really bad audio, or that's really bad video, or so. For me to do a current, like, I'm not taking those videos down uh, and I'm leaving it up on YouTube because that is my journey, right? That is my journey. But if I'm going to do anything current, I will not be reusing old videos. I would re-record everything just so that it is to my standards today. Natia says you could. Okay, I'm just going to put it up. Use the rosebuds to present various items in a be along, a small bouquet, jewelry, keychain. Yes, and I have done that in that series of videos, right? Not the keychain, but it was a bouquet, it was earrings, it was a ring. So minus the keychain, it was a bouquet, it was earrings, it was a ring. So it was all there. And maybe I can come up with a different flower, but the rosebud I've done the rosebud to death. Yeah, I've done that. I've done that. I've presented it in so many different ways, minus the keychain, right? And now I've presented it in a headband as well, like in a dangle. So it's been presented in various ways already. So if I can think of a different flower to do, um, a different flower that will make it, that has the same impact, I guess. Or maybe impact is not the right word. And how many beads did I use on here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I used 8 beads instead of 5. I probably, like, for the loops here. Um, I guess if I did use 5 beads, you can use more beads and not just 5. Um, I have 8. I use 8 beads, but you can probably use 10 beads if you can't do the 8. Okay. Okay. I see. Yep. The only thing missing is the PDF. So, I mean, I could release a PDF. No problem. It's there. I mean, minus the bouquet. Minus the bouquet. Like, I've got the earrings. um, yeah. Small effort. All right. So I will put that on my to-do list and get that PDF out. Shouldn't be too hard. I think the hardest part is um, the rosebuds. What did I do with my rosebuds? Did I give it away? I may have. Then I don't want to make any more. I may have given it away as a gift or not. I don't know where they go. I don't see it. Um, but I can probably do it without making it again. Or it should be quick. So, all right, you've talked me into it. I will release the PDF. I'll release the PDF. All right, guys, you've talked me into it. Not a beat along, but I'll release the PDF. Okay, my coffee's cold. I've got my things beaded. Um, Next week, August 29th, Friday, August 29th, 10 a.m. Central Standard Time, same place for another beat and chat here with me. All right. I'll see you next week.